Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual general aviation aviator, and I am finally back in the captain's seat here. Today I am in the Epic E 1000 with the G 1000, the Garmin 1000 that X-Plane has. I think they call it the X 1000 because they deviate a little bit from the G 1000. Yeah, it's called the X 1000, as you can see, but it's based on the G 1000. Anyway, so the purpose of this flight is I'm going to Norfolk, Virginia, and the plan is to try and program a SID and a star, a standard term, a standard instrument departure from RDU, which is the Herrick 4. I'm sorry, yeah, the Herrick 4, and I actually printed out uh, yeah, I got a dog in the back seat of the aircraft, and he wants to get vocal. Anyway, so I printed out the Herrick 4 departure and the drone to arrival. Now, one of the biggest problems that I had is trying to figure out which departures and arrivals to use. So, in watching somebody's video, they suggested that I use SimBrief, and I found that if I use the route finder, then that would give me a departure and arrival that I can use for planning. Otherwise, I was struggling trying to plan my own departures and going through the charts and trying to figure out which way it go, and and anyway, you get the picture. So let's get started here. So let's jump in this aircraft here, and let's bring up. This one does not have the clickable menu to bring it up, so I have to go here and bring it up here, I guess. And let's get rid of our static elements. Of course, when I turn the power on, that would go away automatically. And let's make sure our door is closing. All right, so a door should be closed. And we've got plenty of fuel. And let's look at the custom load manager. Let's see who we got on board. Now this is not an FSE flight, so this is just a flight that I'm taking. And I think since I think I'm just gonna take myself and no bags. All right. So our weight. Let's see. Now I don't get this. 8,000. See, no bags. All right. So how does this work? Okay. All right. We are at. I think we are at. I'm not sure how much we're weighing. Let's see if we can't see what X-Plane, what this guy's saying. And 64, 64. So learning how to read the this information. So yeah, I'm just kilograms and pounds, and this 8,000 was kind of kind of throwing me off. I don't know if that's the max weight or what, but anyway, we went 64, 64, and I'm not actually going to use that information to determine my power setting. Uh, I get to that part later. Okay. So let's get this guy started up. Now, one thing that I think the Airbus has done, and I don't use a checklist for this aircraft yet, I know I should, is looks like if I go left or right on the pre-start, then I can get this guy started without any issues. Okay, on my alpha yoke, I've got my condition level, I've got my power, and I need to add my prop. Okay, because this one does use a prop setting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and unfeather the prop and condition goes to idle. Check my brakes. Brake is engaged and my static elements are removed, so I don't have any chucks. Battery 1 can come on, battery 2 can come on, and I know you guys can hardly see this. Avionics master can come on, and that way I can look at my parameters. And I was just trying to see if there was a button to flip it to this to my parameters to this side. I don't see it, but anyway, let's see, G1000. All right. So um, and I'm just going through these parameters. All right. So let's go ahead on and dial down. Well, I'm not able to fix my trims just yet. Guess I have to get my prop spinning. All right. So let's turn on the left fuel pump, the right fuel pump, and the starter generator. Uh, okay. And we turn on our igniter and we go ahead and hold, push that usually for 2 seconds, but in this case, just touching it. And when I get 12 on the NG, on the introduced fuel, ITT is coming up and it always spike. Technically, this would be a hot start, but I honestly don't know how to get around that. I did notice that I think on one time I started to introduce fuel at about 19 or 20 on the NG, and I don't know if I got a hot start then. Okay, so let's just call this a good start. All right, and let's go ahead and turn our fuel selector on so that we can keep balanced on the fuel. Pusher tests need to come on. Our doors are closed. Um, and autopilot can come on. Our trims can come on. And maybe now I can change the trims. And let's pressurize the cabin. The cabin pressure is handled automatically, so I really don't have to work on it. Outside air temperature is 31 degrees Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, that means that shoot, that's 2.2 times 31 plus 32. Um, so 31 times 2 is 62 plus 2.2 is 4. 62 plus 4 is 66 plus 30. No, that can't be right. Um, Maybe my formula is off or my math is off. Um, 31 times 2.2 equal 68.2. Yeah, that's, well, I don't know if I said 68.2 or not. Plus 32. 68.2 plus 32. And now I should be, I should be able to do that without a calculator. Um, 68 plus 32 is 100. Is that right? Or is it 90? Um, 6 plus 3 is 9. Yeah, it'll be 100. Because I have to carry that 1. And that doesn't sound, let's see. So let me just do it this way. Um, um, 31, 32 Celsius in Fahrenheit, 89. So my 89.6. So it's pretty warm, but my math, my either my formula is wrong or, and I thought I'd memorized that formula, but we'll figure that out later. Mental math is something that, trust me, if you don't use it, you lose it. And to be honest with you, I've been quick to pull out my calculator than to go through the exercise. So when it comes to adding 2 plus 2, I may get 3.2, 3.4. I don't know what I get. All right. So let's get back to where we want to be. All right. And I am going to use the ForeFlight app. I got it sitting on my desk to kind of help me stay on track. All right. So one thing that I need to do is go ahead and put in my flight plan. All right. So let's see. I don't have any keys built to help me with my views of this stuff. All right. So flight plan. And I'm at KRDU. I'm going to do a procedure. I want procedures because I want to do that, select that departure. Now, this is going to bite me because I probably don't have the HERIC 4. I'm going to have to substitute. Select, wrong button. Enter. All right. Yep, I got the HERIC 2, which differs a little bit. Now, I never got my ADAS, so I don't know what runway I'm going to take off from. So now I guess this is a good time to get my ADAS. I'm at RDU, which is 123.5, and I want ADAS on COM2, 123.8. I'm sorry, 123.8. So let's wind this guy up to 0.8 and flip it in. And now we need to turn on COM2.
Raleigh Durham INTL information Quebec.
Quebec.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 5,500 scattered, 32,000 scattered, temperature 32, dew point 20. Altimeter 3006. Arriving runway 32, departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact, you have Quebec.
All right, got Quebec. And I tried to note everything that was relevant in Quebec. So, winds light and variable, 5,500 scattered, 32.5 scattered. And 32/20 on dew points 3006. And let me make sure I got real weather turned on. Yep, got real weather turned on, so good there. And lo and behold, I just turned it off. Okay. 3006, and I know I can change it here, but I need to be consistent with this stuff. Okay, so, and It's giving me 3-2. Um, this is a payware airport that I said I wasn't going to use, but I like this building here because it looks a lot like the one in real life. So I tend to load it because this this portion here is so accurate. Anyway, I am going to I am going to what am I going to do? Um, build this flight plan. All right, so I'm going to use here at 2, and I'm I know what I was going to say. I'm going to use 5 right. 3-2. See, winds were light and variable. So and this scenery pack always pick the little short 3,200 foot um, runway, even for jet traffic. You should see jets trying to take off on this 3,200 foot runway, and I don't know how to go in there and fix it. So I probably should go back. Probably should dump this payware scenery package called KRDU that's available at the store. But um, anyway, I told you why I don't. Okay, so 5 right is what I want, and let's enter that. And my transition should be feeble, FEBEL, but I am going to have to accept the transition here. I guess that's why people pay who take IFR flying in the sim seriously. I guess that's why they pay for the Navigraph subscription, so that they don't run into these issues. Okay, so I'm going to enter that and load it. Okay, both of them go to Stormy, so that's good. Um, the T, the tie that is, I think that's a VOR. Um, let me do it this way. So this is what's real. Harry Herrick 4 feeble to CVI, which I think is Cofield, um, which is this VOR here, and Stormy. I said both of them go to Stormy. Where is Stormy on this chart? Let's go to world here. Zoom in. And as you guys know, it's going to take me a minute to get off the ground. But if you're learning this stuff, then maybe this will help you out, or maybe it's the blind leading the blind. Okay, so I know I saw Stormy somewhere as a waypoint, um, and I don't remember where it was at, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, a world high. Um, I tell you, it's hard to give up stuff that I don't want to worry about, and I just said I won't worry about it, but yet I'm still looking. I am still looking um, for Stormy. I don't remember what I saw Stormy on at this point. Um, take a quick look at the iPad. I guess I could share that with you. Um, if I load up the software in the iPad for sharing, and let me do that. I usually try to get all this set up before I start recording. Start broadcast. And okay, so let's see if that worked. Yep, that worked. All right. And so now I can get rid of this guy and bring my aircraft back and slide this window back to my secondary monitor where it's always out of the way. All right. So I don't I don't see Stormy. And let's see, Stormy would be that would be somewhere close to RDU. Okay, there's Stormy. Right here. All right. So both of them go to Stormy. So that's a good thing. Um, so I get vectored to Stormy and then to hear it. And then rather than going to Cofield, I am going to go to directly to Tar River, which is TI, which is this is Tar River. Let me get rid of this guy here. So this is Tar River, um, right outside of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and and then we'll pick up our arrival. No, no, no. Uh, is it the arrival that we want or the? So what I can do is I could probably come here and replace Cofield with Rocky Mount, and that's more accurate for that's the closer to what we have. Okay, and then we want our arrival. So let's go ahead and get our arrival into. Let's see what are we doing here? Okay, so we put our we still have to add. See, I may have gotten a little ahead of myself because I never did put our arrival airport in, which is going to be Norfolk. And Norfolk is Kilo Oscar, Kilo Oscar Romeo Foxtrot, Oscar Romeo Foxtrot. All right, now I can go back up here, right, and grab my arrival into Norfolk, and they got drone one. I'm actually using drone two, so that has been updated, but I am going to transition out of RDU. And this is confusing because I don't know if the transition out of RDU was the best, but and and I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. So let's make this smaller and go over this way. This way. Okay, so this white line here, what does that white line mean? And this is why learning this stuff on my own is so hard because I got this white line here and I'm not sure where it goes or what it means. Um, this is my alternative, but no, actually, this would have been my alternative if I had let SimBrief choose my alternative. Um, but this is this is what we're gonna fly, guys. We're gonna fly this guy here and see what happens. Okay, now we got our flight plan in. So the only thing that we need to do is when we get close enough to get the weather, select an approach. And that's confusing because if I fly an RNAV approach, well, I guess, I can never know which approach would be the best to pick, especially if I want to save time and gas. Some of these approaches would take you way away from the airport and then back to it. But that maybe that's the nature of the beast with instrument. Okay, so we've got our flight plan in, and I do this every time. I stick up that for flight app and leave it in and start telling you stuff, and you can't see what I'm talking about. All right, so um, we're gonna this white line here. I don't know what this white line means, or how it or why it's there. But this is the route that we're going to take, and a we've got an approach. Let's say we've got a said departure and a star arrival, and we will select a approach when we get closer. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I don't know what this, let's say, now I told it that I was going to leave on 5 right. I was going to depart on 5 right. So let's get rid of that for a second and let it load. All right, so let it load. And she can be slow to load. But if I'm departing 5 right, so I want to come here and I'm going to fly this way. So I don't know what this circle loop means, but maybe that's my vector window. I don't know. That's why I say it can be real tough learning this stuff on your own. All right, let's get our NP. Um, well, let's not worry about the NP. It's in the yellow, and I'm not sure. I know it'll go in the green once I give the aircraft a little bit more power, but I don't know if yellow means that I'm doing any, that's caution. That's the universal color for caution. And I don't know if I'm doing any harm to the engine. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn our pitot heat on and our inertial separator. Not prop heat, but yeah, okay. Parking brake still set. Okay. And Okay, so I need to set my radios up, and so I already got my ADAs dialed in, and of course, I've already talked to clearance delivery, and they have told me to fly a a left turnout, a right turnout at or above um, 3,000. I mean, at or below 3,000. So let's go ahead and set this guy to 3,000. And let's set our radios up. Ground is 121.7. I mean, yeah, 121.7. And I am not I haven't been a G1000 user because it's just so hard. I've got a 20, I think I got a 27-inch monitor and 121.7. And it's just so hard to see and to keep up with all the information that the G1000 is giving me on this monitor. 127.45 for the side of the airport that we're on. So 4 5, and I wish it was easier to scroll through these numbers, especially the tens. All right, so now we can talk to ground. We can talk to ground and tower when that time comes. Okay, and then my let's see, they gave us let's give let's pick a number 3036 for my squawk code. Okay, so 3036 and altitude reporting. Okay, so I think I am ready to go. Let's go back. Now, one thing that I did notice is is when I'm dealing with this insert map, I haven't figured out how to change it. Maybe it's this range. Ah, just figured it out all this time. Okay, change the size. Okay. All right, so we want traffic, topology, declutter a little bit. And where do we want this guy? We want to see ahead there. And we use this one for our close in. All right. And and then we go back, and so we got a GPS set, got CDI set to GPS, and that got changed somehow, another altitude. Okay, 3,000. Okay, flight director is on. I can turn it off for the time being. And now I was watching a real world video today, and I noticed that I've always flown with I always turn my yaw damper on when I start a flight. And this guy was flying a PC-12 Grant Baker, um, the NGX model, or anyway. Um, I always turn my yaw damper on uh, after I get airborne, and I turn it off just before. I try to remember to turn it off just before landing and leave it on during the flight. But I noticed that he in this video turned his off when he turned his lights, his landing lights off. So I don't know if the yaw damper should stay on in flight or not. But until I learn otherwise, I'm actually going to leave it on during the flight. A lot of time for that little information, right? Okay, so Let's talk to ground. Raleigh ground. Phenom 410 Lima Tango is at General Aviation, and we're ready to taxi. So I'm going to far left, and know that they would have me taxi Juliet 1, Juliet to Romeo. Uh, I screwed that up. Taxi to far left via, uh, screwed that up. Taxi to far right via Juliet 1, Charlie Bravo 1. Epic 410 Lima Tango. Okay, so that was messy, but all right, so let's get this guy down to flight idle so we don't taxi like a bat with a tail in a frizzy. Let's turn this guy back on, and this is one of those aircraft where I can't see my wing without a lot of um, hat manipulation. So, uh, and I'm not getting a. This is all the deflection I'm getting, but we'll take it. All right, all right. So brakes off. Hold those brakes and release them here. All right, parking brake is off. Anti-ice is not on. Taxi light, taxi light come on. And believe it or not, guys, I started the aircraft without my beacon on. I usually keep my beacon on 100% of the time, so it become a no-brainer, but I should train myself to check. But what I really should do is follow a checklist, right? That would solve a lot of the mistakes that I tend to make. Okay, Juliet 1, that would be this guy here. So we're going to turn, take Juliet 1 to Juliet to Charlie. Uh, Actually, should have chose Delta, but since I said Charlie, I think we'll just go ahead and stick with Charlie. And actually, what I should have did was taken Juliet 1 to straight to Bravo. Not Bravo, Alpha. Bravo is on the other side of the airport. This is the original airport. That should be how I remember it. This should be Charlie. The Delta. I think this is Delta. So screwing up. I should have went up to the next one. So that's Charlie up there. I'm a follow what ATC gave me, right? And taxiing can be looking can be a challenge. All right, so this is Charlie. I told you I should have said Delta. All right, follow the yellow brick road. Delta to Alpha. And whoa, that was ugly. I took my eyes off the prize. All right, so this puts us on Alpha. And we'll go up to Alpha. Boy, if taxiing in real life was this tough, I'd be in trouble. Let's see. But in the sim, as you guys know, you don't have that tactile feedback. You don't have any seat of the pants feedback. All right, so we'll speed things up a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead on and add our takeoff flaps. Check the fuel. Now, if I'd have wanted to move that, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Um, okay, fuel quantity is okay for our hop. Just me on board. Oil pressure is in the green, amps and volts in the green. And of course, we would do a run up, which would involve probably cycling the prop, making sure we don't get any oil coming out, and to look for whatever we need to look for. All right, so Alpha 1, and let's switch to tower. And I got somebody actually they're favoring 2-3. Oh well, I am not going to tax it back to 2-3. Okay, so we'll just take off on 5, right? All right. And when I say they, I'm talking about the traffic, the AI traffic. But we were light and variable, and they were actually they may be, yeah, they coming in on 2-3 and not 3-2. Okay, so let's go to tower. We're on tower frequency. Raleigh Tower, Epic 410 Lima Tango is holding at runway 5 right, ready to depart. Clear for takeoff, runway 5 right, 0 Lima Tango. All right, so we clear for takeoff. Condition level can go to 4. Landing lights come off. Taxi lights and strobe lights come on. Inertia separator is open. And let's get it lined up. And and like I said, I did compute what my takeoff power setting is, but we'll torque it up to just below the line. I guess 85 on the torque is fine. And we're looking for 80 to rotate. 80 knots, rotate. Positive rate, tap the brake, gear up. And y'all damper, come on, heading and autopilot. And we want to do that right turnout to um, see, this is why I'm learning. Right turnout to 092. So flaps can come off and heading bug 092. And then they would give us departure a departure frequency, which I failed to look up. So let's go to section, and that's going to be 125.3. And I should have put this in on the ground. Raleigh, Raleigh departure, Epic 410 Lima Tango at $3,000. At at 3,000. I tell them at 3006 Lima Tango. All right, and proceed straight. All right, so at this point they would tell me to go to. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and fly my nav, my GPS, so I can turn on course. And I feel like I'm turning the wrong way. Flight plan. Yes, I am. Shoot. Clear. Flight plan. Ah, shoot. That's. All right, let's go back to head. Because I know I should have been turning right to pick up my course. And it made a left turn. Clear. And I'm going to bring this down to Stormy. And now I'm going to activate that leg inner and go to nav. All right. So now I'm going to go to Stormy and climb and maintain 9,000. Epic 410 Lima Tango. Okay, so they wanted me to climb a thing. 9,000 altitude and vertical nose up, and we can do 2,000. And look at my speed. Wow, I'm way over speed. Shouldn't be over 200 nautical miles in the air. And why am I not tracking Stormy? I'm looking at my ForeFlight app and look at me. So what am I doing wrong? Um, direct to enter. Maybe rather than activate, let's see, direct with Stormy. Okay. So I'm not trained to look up here to see what the autopilot has in mind. Um, and it's amazing that you guys have figured this out a long time ago, and I am just now deciding to figure some of this stuff out. Okay, Stormy. Cross Stormy at 2,500 or above. So I'm above 2,500, so I'm good. And I want to be so I've totally made a mess of this departure. And this is probably the easiest departure and that you one of the easiest departures that you can get or choose. All right. And trying to play ATC and climbing to 9,000, I don't know if that was a smart thing to do, but for five, takeoff minimums is standard. And I need to be at or above 2,500 at Stormy. And so we'll just hang here at 9 for a minute. Well, let's see what our arrival plates say. Okay, so at Tar, we need to be at Tar River. We need to be at 19. So climb and maintain 19. Let's go. Let's just go straight to 19. All right. And I'm okay on speed and vertical nose up. And we'll do another 2,000 foot a minute climb. I know it can be hard to see this this panel here. Right, so pour this, pour the, pour that, the prop back a little bit, 1700. It's a good thing they don't have the engine well modeled in this aircraft, because I'm probably, with this, learning to fly this thing, I know I got to be putting a lot of wear and tear on the engine, because I miss managing the engine parameters. All right, so approaching Herrick. And 250 over the ground. 246 true airspeed and 201, 200 indicated. Looks like I've got a 5-knot tailwind and a 7-knot crosswind component. And I don't think I'm going to have a problem getting up to 19 for Tar River, Rocky Mountain Tar River. Okay, already at 14. Pull the prop back a little bit, getting in the yellow. And this is where it would be good to have to consult the POH. But that's why I've always been a bush pilot, something easy and simple to fly, where I don't have to get task saturated flying. A bit more torque. Hold at 2,000 foot a minute. Still got my inertia separator on. For a flight just reminded me that I am at standard. So let's go to, I think this is PDF, standard barometer. And this one I have to change manually. $1,000 to go. Capturing my cruise altitude, and 19 is my cruise altitude for the day. Okay. And let's look at our flight plan here. Okay. Now, all right. So, what's going on? What the devil was it turning? Ah, man. It's going back to it want okay. So I need to go. I need to put this guy here and fly direct to this guy. Enter. There we go. And let's see what it says here. It should say Tar River T Tango Yankee India. When it finishes its turn back on course. But why is drone highlighted? Just told it to fly direct to Tar River, I think. I'm gonna do it again just in case something didn't go astray. Look at that. Ah, all right. Direct the ding. If any of you guys fly, for you guys who fly um, IFR and know this stuff and you're watching me, you're probably getting a good laugh. The heck is he doing? Right? That's probably, I imagine that would be what you guys would be saying. So, what the world is he doing? It's not that hard. All right, there's Dean. And cruise is 175 indicated. I'm at 250 indicated. Oh, well, that's at flight level 340. So at 19, I'm just going to go with 70% on my torque. Not sure what the POH says, but that's what I'm going to do. All right. Now, I'm approaching Dean, and my next waypoint ought to be drone, CVI, Cofield. Okay, so where do I want to be at Cofield? Or Dean for that matter. Okay, at Cofield, I want to be down to 11. So let's set this at 11,000. And enter. Ah, let's see, I didn't even enter that right. At drone, that devil's, see, but I'm gonna be at 11,000 here. Enter. I should already be in my descent. Vertical nav. Bring the altitude down to 11. Nose down. Vertical nav. And let's see. So I'm on V path. And I should already be in that descent, right? So I'm gonna have to start it manually. Uh, Nose down. But it's not going down. Oh, vertical speed. Nose down. And pour this power way back. And do a 2,500-foot descent. Well, I had a 3.5 glad path, so if I were if I had went down and changed this to a 3%, then well, that didn't really. I was hoping that would put me before the top of my descent, but I don't think I'm gonna make 11 by Cofield. Well, I'm 16 nautical miles away. Yeah, I should be able to make 11. All right. And drone. Where's drone on my chart? So I'm looking for drone on my chart. And I know I got a paper chart. You guys can't see it. Okay, drone is 11. All right. All right. So we're looking for 11. We're doing. All right. So it looks like we're on the V path now. Okay. So, yeah. Yep. How about that? Vertical path. Vertical path. And altimeter is 3006. Okay. 3006. Cross check. And let's see if I got the 127.15 is the radio for Norfolk. 15s, go up to 15s. '27. Flip that in. Let's jump on COM2, see if we got any, if we in range. Not yet. Didn't think it would be. And I should leave that on because if I don't, then I'm gonna miss checking that. I'm gonna miss getting the ATIS. But I want to train myself to remember to check. So I'm gonna turn it off. And okay, so Norfolk and one, let's see, and I'm not managing the radios for else for these centers, as you can see. I do I would do some not four flight, but some back sim flights to get a little better with that. Okay, so Orford is 119, Tower is 1169. No, it's not 1169. It's 1189. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dial that in, and I'm at 11, and got drone at 11 nautical miles. So what's after drone? Oh, I need a procedure. So I need to hear my weather. So I got come to engage.
Norfolk
There
INTL
we go.
information Romeo.
Romeo.
2000 Zulu weather. Wind 170 at 9, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 5,000 few, 10,000 scattered, 25,000 scattered, temperature 30, dew point 17. Altimeter 3006.
006.
Arriving runway 14,
14.
departing runway 14. Advise on initial contact you have Romeo.
Got Romeo. All right, so we know our runway. We're going to come in on 1-4. Not watching our engine parameters. You can see I got way too slow. Fortunately, the aircraft was smart enough to give me a tune to let me know. Pull it back to 70. And okay, so I see I'm 6 nautical miles from drone, and I probably need to load up my procedure, my approach, right? And we know we want runway 14, and so we shoot the RNF for 14, GPS RNF, um, enter, and we just fly to the initial approach. So now I need to find my minimals. So that means that I need to be able to get a chart up for that approach. And Norfolk, I didn't mean to do that. So let's go back and let's get that approach. 1-4 GPS. And we're gonna fly up to Kibo. Actually, look like Hamkey would be our transition in. So let's go back and 1-4 enter, and our initial approach is going to be Hamkey, and let's find our decision altitude is 460. That's our minimum. And our, let's see, let's briefly. Of course, our approach course is 137. Runway is 4,300 feet. Elevation is 27. ADOS is 127.15. North is 118. Tower, that's approach. Tower is 120.8. Ground is 121.9. Okay, so I got that wrong in there. Okay, so that's a good thing that I caught that. And so I'm on the approach frequency now. So let's set this up for one. Ah, shoot, just that quick, I forgot. uh, Tower is 120.8. Let's get our point 8 in now. $20. Set ground up on com 2. That was 121.19, point 8. I think it was point 9. Yeah, it was point 9. I feel like this is so slow. Okay. So, minimals 460. Shoot. Enter. Load. So I'm still at 11. And let's see now, what comes next? All right. So I need to be at 2,500 at height at this. So let's go ahead and fly to this guy here. Direct to. And I must have missed it because It's tying the bottom of the cent, and I think it's turning me around. It is. So that gives me a chance to get to that bottom. And what you see, nose down, pull that power back, nose down, drop it like it's a rock. 3,100 foot a minute. Let's make it 29. 2,900 feet a minute. And get this cabin pressure workout. All right, fuel is slightly unbalanced. A little bit more on the right. So I'm on my left tank, so maybe it'll come into balance. Turn the bottom of the cent, 21, 25 seconds. Ain't gonna happen, is it? But it would. So I have no clue where my aircraft is going. It's way up here, and it should be going to Fender, and it is counting down towards it, so I'm not gonna sweat it. Oh, it's lining me up for this 1-4. So it is shooting this it is shooting that this approach. And I'm trying to get down to 29. And technically this would be a missed approach. You know, now that I'm starting to learn these things, I see how easy it is to miss an approach. And there's no way I'm gonna be at Jadex 4 nautical miles. Um, so this is my airport, right? And 1-4. I'm on 1-4. Maybe that's not my airport. So, damn it, what happened?
1,000.
All right. Okay, yeah, that's not my airport. Thank you. Glad. My airport is what, about 5.5 miles away. 45, so I should be on the approach at this point. There's my glide slope, minimums, and this fourth flight app sometimes I hate when I forget to turn it off, but I want to be able to see. All right, just picked up my glide slope. Let's get some flaps in. And I'm still trying to slow down. Got 10 degrees of flaps in. Gear. Got 3 in the green.
Minimum 500.
All right, minimums, so I can take off the autopilot, yaw damper, and
400.
I'm hand flying it at this point. A little wind,
300.
definitely crabbing. 10 knot crosswind.
200.
Green.
100.
Landing lights are on. Inertia separator should be coming on.
30. 20. 10.
Heavy braking. All right. And we're going to exit to Alpha. Where's Alpha? Alpha's to the right. And General Aviation. Good deal. All right, guys. We got there on somehow. Wasn't pretty, but in summary, we flew a standard instrument departure, at least we attempted to, and we flew a standard terminal arrival, at least we attempted to, and we transitioned to a RNAV approach and flew that in. Would it help if I'd have stopped to clean up my aircraft? Um, so a lot more practice, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to make these flights with a little bit more success. All right, brakes. All right, come off the brakes. All our lights are off. And, I never turn off my inertial separator. I should really start to use a checklist. And I say that during every flight. Okay, and all right, condition off. Turn that guy off. Battery off. And static elements can come on. Aircraft has to cool down before I can put them on. Open the door. All right, and welcome to Norfolk International. Thank you for flying, and you know the rest.
Y'all come back now. Here.